This is Teacher Crystal with a VIP Kid update. I have been a teacher with VIP Kid for, let's see, 115 days as of today. It is February 19th, and we are in the middle of Chinese New Year as teachers, and there's been a lot of worry that I've seen in the Facebook groups about, not having bookings and things being slow, which I'm really leaving this video as a reminder for myself for next year, and also as a reminder for new teachers. I'm sure seasoned teachers have already been through this, but that it's really not that big of a deal. I found a lot of benefits during this time. As I said, I've only been a teacher for it's about 4 months. I like that I had a break. I was pretty lucky to get a lot of students very early on as a teacher, to get repeats, to get, it sounds like a lot of bookings when other people were not for whatever reason. So yeah, I hardly ever had any days off. So this month in February, I took off Valentine's Day. I took off the day after Valentine's. I threw a Mardi Gras party on February 10th, so I'd taken that day off, the day after. So I had already scheduled some non-working days, not even thinking about Chinese New Year or knowing what would happen. So really the bookings I did get were nice. I didn't want to work that much. So far I have, looks like I've taught 78 classes. Ooh. 78 between the 1st and the 19th, which is not bad at all, especially for trying not to work. But with people saying, oh, Chinese New Year is terrible and you're not going to make any money, I don't believe that. To have done the 79 classes, taken off time for myself, chosen to not work several days, if you want to make a full check for the month of February during Chinese New Year, I don't think that it's impossible. So let me tell you something that I did that I had never done before, that had I wanted to make more money, I would have intentionally done this. So I scheduled some I opened some evening hours up. And I did that. So yes, I had some classes on the 13th. Oh, you can't see that. In the evening. I had never tried, now that's a Tuesday evening. I have worked on Friday and Saturday evenings, never a weekday. And the reason why I opened it up was just because I knew I was going to be taking off the 14th and the 15th and things like that. Obviously, it got booked up. I did not, these were the exact times that I opened up, the 5, 5:30, 6. I didn't open up any more, so I don't know how many more bookings I could have gotten. I believe what was going on is that since the children are out of school, doing an irregular schedule, they were available in the morning. So Tuesday night would have been Wednesday morning. I believe had I filled in the chunk for the evenings that most of the children are celebrating Chinese New Year, I would have made up the hours that I wouldn't be getting during the day. Hopefully that makes sense. So, another thing that has excited me during this time is there were several children still taking classes back to back, like 2 in a row. I have a child booked at 4 and same child at 4:30, just really working hard. And, I would ask them, what did you do today? Are you on vacation? Are you celebrating? Did you do anything for Chinese New Year? And they would say homework. Like they did homework, they read books, they were still studying and working. I had a child that the last slide came up and it was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and he saw it and he knew what the song was. He hopped up and went and started accompanying me as I sang, and he was playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the piano. And this kid was maybe like 5 years old, 5, 6. So it really hit me at one point about how amazing these children are and all the hard work that they're doing. They don't complain. They are learning like gangbusters. And I thought, you know what, Crystal? You have been trying to become fluent in several languages for so many years. I mean, I used to live in Germany for 4.5 years. I didn't know at that time or necessarily try to become fluent. But since then, I mean, when I lived in Germany, it was, 30 years ago. Okay, so I was a child. Since then, I have attempted, but not fully, not hard enough, to be 100% fluent in German. I teach myself Spanish, I teach myself French. I'm going to France in about a month and a half, and I was like, this is ridiculous that you cannot speak this language. Um, so I committed to every day after having my classes for the rest of this month, so after teaching, that I would do an hour of French language class. I figured, I had several students that were doing 2 classes back to back, so essentially an hour. I could do the same thing. And I've also seen how these students are progressing. I will have a child one week and then the same time the next week, and they're speaking better, they're reading better, they're comprehending better, their communication is fantastic, their pronunciation is clearer. So I'm like, I don't know what else they're doing at home, what their parents are doing with them to reinforce whatever my class was in the week, but something awesome is going on, and I can do the same thing. So I use Duolingo. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of this, being that you're into language teaching. And when I first started this last week, when I decided I would do an hour after class, I was 13% proficient that day, or fluent, I guess it says, in French. And as of yesterday, I was 27% fluent in French. That's quite a leap in a week. Now, another thing that helped me commit to this was the realization that, okay, I still am going to be getting up early and maybe only teaching 1 or 2 classes instead of 6 or 8. I have the time and I have the energy, and I have proven to myself I can stay up another hour. So as soon as my classes were over, I hopped on, put on my earphones, did my Duolingo, and yeah, it helps for me to feel more productive and, I don't know, even worthy. It was a little humbling to teach the children and see how hard they're working and realize I was kind of being lazy. And here I have a child playing the piano live in front of my face, and I'm thinking, what if one of the parents ever asked me, or the children spoke to me in another language? How embarrassing would that be when I know for myself I've wanted to perfect my German, my Spanish, my French, and I'm sure these children are speaking many, many languages. They're speaking English, Mandarin, Cantonese, and French. So that is my little vlog about, really, I'm just appreciating this job. And the Chinese New Year's complaints aren't necessary. Hopefully you find a way to encourage yourself and find all the positive aspects about working for VIPKID, not living in fear. Um, this month for me has been fantastic. At least I'm 27% more fluent in French. And I've met new children that I never would have taught, because my schedule was booked up with regulars that I had. So I enjoy that, meeting these new children. They are going to, of course, carry forward with the rest of my months and become regulars. So I think this has been great. I've also learned how to, with the one-on-one, knowing that maybe I only had one class and gave me more time to prep. I really, really focused on that particular student. I automatically spent more time with them. I didn't worry about the 25-minute cutoff and I have to get to the next class and I have to take down my reward and all this stuff. I was very focused on, like, I'm just going to give this kid extra help, um, extend as much as possible, get to know them, really be relaxed. That was so fun to just, like, I don't know, just kind of even breathe, just breathe through the classes and not, more like hold my breath. Are they going to answer it? Can they read the sentence? Are we going to finish in 25 minutes? That's not cool. And people can tell if you're acting that way, if you're like rushing, not being patient. So, anyway, I think that's all. I had one class today. Well, no, I had one class this morning, and the student did not show up, which was fine. What did I do? I kind of cleaned up my desk and my area and did a little bit of shopping online. I was looking for like dry erase marker and dry erase marker cleaner, actually. Just things for the room that had I had several classes back to back, I probably would have forgotten. So I was glad I had the time to do that, and I still got paid. It was a major course, and so I didn't really lose out on anything other than meeting the child. So, yeah, okay, guys, I hope that this helps you just to think about all the positive things there are with this job and to never take it for granted, and the fact that you can keep learning and become a language expert too. Okay,